Hey all, this is Val here with another Dungeon Hunter Champions video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Dr. Myelin, the Light Scion. Alright guys, as you hopefully you know, I had an amazing summon session on Saturday. I got my second laser on an L&D disc ever, and it was Dr. Myelin. Super happy about. Now, his name is not as cool as Dr. Synapse, but he's got the look, he's got the style, and he's got the skills to pay the bills. So, we're going to take a look at Dr. Myelin. Let's head on over to skills. First auto attack skill, Palm Blast. Damages target enemy with a chance to mark. Each time he uses another skill, he becomes empowered. When empowered, the cycle drones will assist him in the next time he attacks, shooting nearby enemies at random. Bonus damage based on accuracy. So this is really something that you can't maximize using Rapid because it is based, just like Snake Lady, on using another skill. So we're going to go ahead and toss out Rapid. His first active skill, Wave of Terror, unleashes a wave of psycho energy dealing damage and pushing back enemies in a cone. Removes one buff from affected enemy and inflicts fear if a buff was removed. So unlike Dr. Synapse, instead of removing the buff and dropping OGD, he removes the buff and drops fear, which can be handy in PvP. Alright. His second active skill, Repulsion Field, sends out 2 Psycho Drones to project a wall of pure Psycho energy. The wall shocks nearby enemies, dealing damage and knocking them away. Each enemy can only be shocked once. Alright, I mean, pretty good. We've seen the wall. This is, again, could be very effective in PvP. His last and third active, ultimate, whatever you want to call it, skill is Psycho Drone Swarm. Sends out a swarm of Psycho Drones that randomly shoot nearby enemies for several seconds. Each shot deals damage and inflicts mortal wounds. The debuff can only affect each enemy once, meaning you can't stack it, so it is going to drop off. Once it drops off, he can reapply it. Now, this also could be very handy in PvP and also handy in co-op because the boss does heal, and the higher level you go, the faster the boss heals. So this mortal wounds could help save you time and energy spent. Energy as in, you're going tap, let's kill this thing. Less taps because he's not going to heal, and you don't have to burst down all that energy again. So he really looks like he could be pretty freaking good in PvP. You do want to make sure if you go that way, though, you build him accuracy. Looking at this, you want to build him accuracy anyway, right? The bonus, not because of the bonus. I'm telling you guys, I've tested this. The bonus damage from accuracy just isn't really that great. The bonus damage from anything down here really isn't that great. Really, if you want bonus damage, you're better off just pumping in more attack. And if you can work in more accuracy, right, of course, it's more damage. So if you can get 100% accuracy without sacrificing attack, meaning, you're not going attack, crit damage, accuracy. So if you go attack, crit damage, attack, right? You go that. And if you can still get 100% accuracy and subs, more power to you, right? It's going to be more bonus damage, but it's not worth sacrificing your bracer slot for accuracy to try to buff up its damage, unless your primary concern is dropping mark, dropping fear, and then, of course, dropping mortal wounds. If you're going to, you're banking on him to do all that, then you might want to consider swapping out the bracer. But even still so, he's going to be even better if you go attack, crit damage, attack, and then just get your accuracy and subs. He'll be even better and still work for the purpose you want to do. But if you can't get there and you do need those buffs to stick, then obviously go with the accessory, accuracy bracer, excuse me. I see ACC and I still think accessory sometimes. Alright, let's look at his gear. Full disclosure, you guys know this. I've said it in all my review videos recently. I am bingo on good gear. Everyone going forward's getting my leftovers because I really like Mortal, I really like Adept, and I really like Sturdy for my 2-piece. So, I mean, this is really what's left over, to be honest, guys. It really is. It's not the ideal way I want him built, but it's what I have, so it's what we have to work with. So, as you can see, I went Adept and then Precision. I went Attack, Crit Rate, Attack. Just so you can see my other stats. If I go too slow, feel free to pause the video and you can take a look at it. But there you go. Here is his stats. I have 64% accuracy, 80 crit damage, pathetic. I got about 1400 attack, pathetic. 21k HP, pathetic. 700 defense, acceptable. 100% crit, awesome. So I really, this is the best I could do, guys. I hate it, but it's the best I could do. I really, when I go a crit build, like to be over 100% crit damage. I'm only at 80 here. That's because I had to go with the crit rate gloves. If I went with crit damage gloves, my my crit rate wasn't at a place where I felt comfortable going a crit build. I would have much preferred going mortal, but I just didn't have the mortal gear. The Adept was the best I could muster, unfortunately. So this is his build. Here's his. You already saw his stats, but I mean, I guess I was so bummed out by his stats. I was like, I forgot I showed it to you. I was like, I forgot. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the standard D-Lima-Bob. This guy I can bring to both SW10 and to ED10. So let's get him here in ED10. We'll see how he does. He can wave clear, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop out Sigrun, because that's her job in my groups to get me to the boss as fast as possible. She is an excellent wave clearer. You'll probably remember from my one of my videos where I had Dr. Synapse in for wave clear. He did just as good as Sigrun, and actually because his single target damage is slightly better, we got better times with them. So I'm hoping we see the same thing with Dr. Myelin. Alright, so here we go. We'll click skip. Oh, we didn't need to. I forgot. I'm so used to clicking skip. So this is really a safer team. I'm running Yasuko. And I was doing some testing. That's why I have her in here. Or this would probably be a faster team. I would more than likely put Casey in here. So we're not looking to break the sound barrier here. We're just looking to test this guy out. Multiple hits for 4K with one wall. That was very, very nice. I like it. Remember his stats, guys. Keep his stats in mind when we see the final tally sheet. And, you know, and it could be good. And maybe I'm trying to put too much of a positive spin on it, but maybe you, like me, you know, you're low on gear, so you can't actually afford to give him the best. You still got some farming to do. So, I mean, this is good that we're looking at him like this. With better gear, he's only going to get better. We're chunking down the boss pretty easy. I don't foresee any problems. Not with Yasuko. She's on the case. She's going to make sure we live. Kiva, as you guys all know, is, in my opinion, the best stripper that ever lived. She just, I mean, she just makes sure that those buffs are never up. All right, fairly flawless. It's a minute 15 and a minute 25 is pretty decent time for SW10. Oh, hey, look at this. I need it. That's the thing. I usually don't keep blues, but there's a 6-star and it's got the stats you want. So we're keeping it. All right, so let's look at our stat sheet here. How did Dr. Myelin do? So he did apply Mortal, and it definitely got marked. He's not breaking any, like, barriers with this, right? I mean, let's just be honest. But you saw my stat sheet. So given what he has, the fact that he got all his buffs on the boss, I'm going to say this is still a success. And what am I basing that? Well, you're like, Val, come on, man, be real. 144, you're calling excess. Yeah, this is why. Level 50, subpar gear, and he is only about, what is that, 94 points, 94k away from Monas. That is pretty good for a level 50, right? And you remember my my other reviews were units I was fully, you know, I test them at 50, then you saw them later again at 60, and they were surpassing him. I know this can be Dr. Myelin for sure. I have no doubts. Now, if this number was, say, like in the 80 to 90 range, then definitely he would be falling behind. He wouldn't be that great at all. But this shows definite potential. I'm you're easily going to get this. And then if you looked at my gear, you'll see I didn't have plus 15 on 2 of my attack slots, one of them being a 6-star, which is going to add even more damage. And then, of course, when I 6-star him, we're going to get more stats, because everything after level 22 on a 6-star is going to be pure stat bonus. So at level 22, a 6-star is already greater than a max level 50. So I'm not worried about this. This actually looks really good. You're going to get way more than 94k once I level his gear, and then once I take him to 6-star max. And then consider he's not on mortal, right? He should be on mortal or even brutal, but I didn't have the brutal gear. I just didn't have it. I mean, I'm close with brutal though, super close, because I have been farming ED10. So when you look at this, just, you know, it's still a success. He's in a good range with. I've done a lot of these at max 50, guys, so trust me, this is a good sign. This is a good sign for level 60 and for appropriately geared. This is, come on, you saw the gear. You saw it. I mean, and he still did decent. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. If you guys disagree, go ahead and leave some comments. I mean, I'm always open, you know. If you feel like that's not good enough, even at level 50 with subpar gear, then let me hear it, you know. Show me some numbers that you guys have got. And I don't mean that like confrontation. I mean it like honestly, because if I'm saying something and it's off, I want to make sure that I get corrected. So when I pass that information on to noobs, you know, who are looking at this, maybe they're going to invest resources in Dr. Myelin, that they know. I don't want them to waste their resources, right? I'm not free to play. Everybody knows that. I do spend money on this, so I can afford to build these units and not really have it affect me. I mean, for goodness sake, I built Grind. Come on. I got the resources to do it, and I'm happy to do it for the community. Okay, as we know, let's go over here to ED10. As we know, with Dr. Synapse, I could pre-flight this pretty easy. We've seen the video. I think this is when we were testing Hoshi. Hoshi, yeah, because she's still in here. We're going to leave Hoshi in here. We're going to leave everything the same. The only difference is we're going to leave in, we're going to swap out Dr. Synapse for Myelin. No idea if this is going to be successful. I did not test either of these runs before I recorded it, because I'm raw, man. If something doesn't work out, I want you guys to see it. I want us to talk about it and know why, so that way you can go, oh, okay, so Val did it this way. It didn't work. He then created a different team, did it this way, and it works. Now you guys know. Now if you're in a situation where you have similar units, then you can be like, hey, I know for a fact I saw Val's video. He failed miserably. He fixed it by doing this, so that's what I'm going to do ahead of time so I don't have to worry about it. So that's why I don't mind going in raw. I don't mind failing. I don't mind having bad builds, because all that does is tell you guys how not to do it, which is a benefit. Because again, you might be free to play, you might not spend it all, and you can't afford to waste the resources on bad builds. So again, that's something I'm always I'm okay with failing, 100% okay to failing. Now, the thing about this team, guys, and why we might fail is no heals except for Manas. Keep in mind, Hoshi is a DPS unit. She does still have the damage reduction shield that all the magical girls have, but she has no heals. She's all about damage and debuffs. And stripping. She is a stripper. All right, so now, remember, guys, this is being successful because of Dot and because of Caroline, right? So we still pre-flight. That's good. That's good. And that's with 2 units that aren't up to snuff. That's with both Hoshi and Dr. Myelin, because you guys have seen my Hoshi. Hopefully you've seen the review. Let's take a look at the numbers. See, there we go. Look at that. Here he actually pulls away from Manas. You got to keep in mind he is wave clearing, so a lot of his damage is coming from waves. And then you got to consider in SW10, which I didn't mention a moment ago, Manas had the elemental advantage. Here, he was just the same. So him, for all intents and purposes, these 2 guys get roughly the same damage on the boss, because neither one of them has elemental advantage. We could take a see. He did fear a little bit, so he stripped somebody at some point. He got his heal block. He got Mark, which is good. Mark you always want, right? Mostly Snake Lady, though, was covering our march. She had us taken care of. But we beat him. When we beat him, we gave him a sound beating, right? So which is good. Which is good. Again, this shows you the potential of Dr. Myelin. You got to consider I do have substandard gear. He is level 50. Same thing applies like what I was talking about in SW10. This is a super good sign. This means that he is going to be on par with Dr. Synapse once I get him to 60. He probably might even surpass Dr. Synapse. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I doubt he'll surpass him, though, in ED10 because of, you know, in this case, Dr. Synapse will have the elemental advantage. He'll do more damage. He'll get more pluses. He'll be happier. So that's cool. That's cool. Keep in mind, this team is mainly successful because of Caroline. If you are looking to run a similar team, you will need her or some other reliable OGD dropper. Dodgy might work, or maybe another Snake Lady. So that way you can make sure you're rapidly applying OGD if you're looking to go that way. Or you can just go raw damage to pre-flight. Raw damage is very, very possible. Mint, I like to pick on that guy a lot, but his both his SW10 and ED10 teams are all raw damage, and he pre-flights and kills without issue in the sub-minute area, and that's including the 4 seconds. So I mean, I think his times were like 58 in SW10 and 56 in ED10. I might be wrong. So he really killed in 52 and 54, which is really, really good. Really, really good. He's like 4 seconds faster than me because typically on my best runs, right, the boss dies around 58, 59. So he's a good 4 or 5 seconds faster than me. All right, so far, what's the verdict? What does Val think about Dr. Myelin? Dr. Myelin is the bee's knees. I'm telling you guys. So I have not as big as bias as I do at Baba Kruk. But with the Scions, they just look so freaking awesome. I do have a bias to them. I'm not going to lie. But the numbers back it up, right? The numbers back it up. So I think he is definite build. He does have PvP potential. I am going to wait to test him there, though, and especially until I get better gear. Because when you're looking at PvP, you've got Mark, you've got Strip into Fear. So that means they're going to be CC'd. They're going to go do something else, right? So that's good. That's very good. The Strip, also very good. So you get Strip, Fear, get away from me. Let's kill his buddies. Then you've got a Pushback. Pushback is great in PvP. Keeps them away from you. I'm not sure what Shock does. If you guys know what Shock does, leave a comment below. But I'm sure it's a good thing, right? And then lastly, you've got Mortal Wounds. How many? And it's AoE Mortal Wounds. So how many people are tired of Kai Wenji, Magical Girl, and then what's her face? Violet teams just healing for days. They ain't gonna be healing no more when you got Mortal Wounds, right? And if they don't have a cleanser, then you're in a good spot. You bring a Strip, you bring Mortal Wounds, and you bring immunity, right? And then you're neutralizing those very popular teams because now they can't root you, they can't CC you, and you can remove their ability to heal. And then if they have something like a Zeveron, you can strip that off of them. So, and then of course you bring your DPS, right? But yeah, that's really what you're looking for. Basalt actually is a good unit for there. Like if you don't have a GD, Basalt's a good one. But now we're getting into PvP talk. You guys know how I feel about PvP. All right, so that's the review, guys. I appreciate you watching. If you found this video helpful, if you learned something, if you were just flat out entertained because you already knew everything, go ahead and drop me a comment. I really like reading them. I do respond to them. Also, please mash that like and subscribe button. Also, hit notifications so that way you know when I have a new video. Every like helps me. Every comment helps me. And as I said, I do reply to them all. All right. As always, thank you guys for watching. And all you dudes and dudettes out there, stay frosty.